Ladies and gentlemen, today we welcome a woman who first took up the challenge of running a marathon almost 2 decades ago. Not knowing what to do or how to prepare, she bravely thrust herself onto a course to complete the San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon in 2007. Despite taking a brutal fall in the first mile of the race, in which she planned to only run the first 13 miles, she ended up going the entire way, finishing the whole marathon in just over 5 hours. Almost 2 decades and 2 kids later, after setting aside her running shoes to establish her career and raise her family, she decided to, quote, do something for herself and set her goal to complete the LA Marathon in 2025, which after some amount of dedication and perseverance, she did in a whopping 3 hours and 48 minutes, proving to herself and her family that, quote, mom needs room to have her own sport too. She's not the fastest out there, and you likely won't see her qualifying for the Olympics anytime soon, but she has bravely chosen to reimagine herself to become the insanely great, inspirational runner that she is to her family, her fellow club members, and anyone else she comes in contact with. For those of you wondering, how can I find the courage to run a marathon? Step right up to hear the story of Marathon Michelle Kuwabara. Just a little bit about yourself. You're an occupational therapist, is that right?
Yes, I'm an occupational therapist, work mainly in schools. I have two girls, 12 and 16.
Yeah.
And they pretty much keep me busy.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. Yeah.
And then there's the running.
Running. Imagine that. How'd you get into running?
So I started running maybe in high school, just, for fun. Like we'd go after school or something, a couple of miles, nothing crazy. I grew up in Hawaii, so we'd run to the shaved ice place and then grab a shaved ice and come back or something like that. But nothing formal.
Yeah.
I really started running after college.
Yeah.
So it was more of like that, I think that transition from like, I'm going to school and now I have this job.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a big transition. And I really just use the running as an outlet. I just felt like there were just days where I just needed to get out there, and I started running. And that's when I really started running like longer. Like I'd go out there for like an hour and I'd run for an hour, and it seemed like, wow, I feel really good after that hour, but I can't believe I ran for an hour.
So this was like after college, like after you got a job and you started getting settled in your career?
Well, so I was doing a lot of like field work. When you become an occupational therapist, you have to like basically work full time for 6 months for free. It's part of like your training, I guess, per se. So I was still not quite a professional yet. I was training for it, but it was still like a full-time job. Like a full-time job, just you're not getting paid. You're actually still paying tuition. So it's just, a lot of stressors. At that time.
Was there any one person or one event that got you into running?
No, I was just running alone in my neighborhood. I'd stick in some music, I'd go for a run, come back feeling so much better. And I think that I just I got addicted to it almost. Like it was like, I need to go out for my run now. Yeah. It just kind of became my routine.
Okay. And did you take up any sports prior to taking up running in high school or anything like that?
Not really, no.
Really?
I mean, I swam, but not competitively.
Yeah. Probably swam in Hawaii, right?
What was that?
I said probably everybody was swimming in Hawaii, right? To some degree, right?
Surfing. Everyone was surfing. I did not like surfing. I liked staying in the pool. It was predictable.
Yeah. So why run a marathon? I think you told me your first marathon you ran about 10 years ago, something like that?
It was in 2007. So it was a while ago. It was before I had kids. So I was in a running group back then.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, hey, yeah, everyone was kind of like training for a marathon. So I thought, okay, I'll try one. And yeah, I actually ran 2. And then I had kids, and then I hadn't ran one since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the first 2, what did you do to prepare for those first 2 marathons?
There wasn't really any preparation. I mean, it was like they gave us our long run route, we would run together on a Saturday. It'd be the long run, right?
Yeah.
And then in between, it was just like run 2 or 3 times a week. But that was it. It was not like structured. It wasn't like run this much or run this fast, or, there was no set schedule. It was just find time to run 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay.
And then come to these long runs.
Right.
So really, I mean, considering that really wasn't really any preparation at all.
Yeah. It sounds like you didn't really do a whole lot to prepare for that first marathon. I mean, for a marathon, it's a pretty long distance.
And then, back then it was like, they didn't have the, run your easy runs and then just do like 1 or 2 hard runs during the week.
Yeah.
So, for me, I'm young and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to run hard every single time I go out there.
Yeah.
And so I was just like running kind of hard every single time I went out. And of course, it led to injury.
Yeah. So you didn't put as much into the training as you would have liked to, or you didn't even actually really know much about how to prepare or train for the meet.
Yes, I didn't even know, right? I didn't know. So I thought I was doing the training.
Right. And then you kind of got hurt, right? It sounds like.
Yeah, I got a stress fracture in my tibia. So I actually didn't run the marathon that I was supposed to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one that you did run, how fast did you run that?
So my first marathon, I think I ran like a 5:11. It was, that first marathon, actually, it's funny. I didn't train for it. I was coming off of the injury, and I thought in my head, I would just run the half because I don't have time to train for a full. Mm-hmm. So like, I'll just run the half.
Yeah.
I think I was signed up for the full, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna run the half. But at the halfway mark, I felt really good. So I was like, I think I'll just keep going.
So you signed up for a half and you just kept going?
Yes. Well, no, I signed up for the full, only trained for the half.
Oh, okay.
And ended up running, made the split decision to like just go for it in the middle of the run.
Yeah.
Which is not smart.
Wow. And so you ran those 2 marathons, you had kids, and then you didn't do a whole lot of running after that?
Yeah. No. I ran just like I said, I used the running for like that psychological outlet, just to like release,
Yeah.
So I would always run. I kept running, but I hadn't raced anything really. I'd done a couple of half marathons, maybe in like 2014, 2015, around there.
Yeah.
But I didn't really keep it up.
Okay. What got you back into it? Was there something that happened that made you go, hey, I gotta start running more seriously again?
So, I ran my first marathon in 2006, something like that. And I ran 2. So I ran San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon, and then I did Honolulu Marathon. And those were the only 2 that I had really done. But I got married and then I had my kids, and so I just never revisited it. So, they're older now, and I just was like, I need to do something for myself. What do I want to do for myself? And that was like the beginning of 2024. I was kind of like in this funk, and I was like, what do I want to do? And so I was like, you know what? Let's just get back into racing. And so I started with a half marathon, and then I joined SBRC. And then I'm just suddenly surrounded by people who just like do marathons on like any given day, it seems like, Yeah. And I'm just like, I really think maybe I should give it a shot. Maybe I need a redemption run. Like, I had 2 awful experiences, the first 2 marathons. And then I had stopped for like, I don't know, 17 years, didn't run a single marathon. And so I started training. I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'll do LA and we'll just see. I was really curious as to like, I'm 17 years older. But now I'm in this running group and they're giving me like all this training. And so I was just kind of keeping it open. I didn't have a goal in mind. Just ran it just to see. And and I finished really great. I finished way better than I had ever expected to. And so now I just kind of want to keep going.
Yeah. So you mentioned redemption run. It sounds like this is something that you started like 17 years ago. You did it kind of okay, And now you're looking back 17 years later after raising a family and getting your career going. You're like, you know what? I want to go back and do something for myself. I want to go back and do that thing that I tried to do 17 years ago, but I want to do it right.
Yeah, I wanted to see what my potential was.
Yeah.
I ran them before, but like it was like, I'm just going to run a marathon. Now I'm just like, well, what can I do? What am I capable of? Right.
Yeah.
And Mark had always said this. He was like, you're capable of doing this time on a marathon. And I was like, no. Didn't believe him.
Yeah.
But he was right.
Michelle was certainly questioning what she was capable of. And in marathon running or anything, it's almost a science. If you run X, it means you can run Y. There's a lot of math behind it, and people may not realize that.
Yeah.
So I never doubted what she was capable of, just because I knew the math behind her training. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Michelle, you just have to believe in the system, believe in the process. You'll accomplish your goal.
Yeah.
And she did, and she stayed with it, and it all worked out.
So you've kind of dabbled with something, and now you've put your full foot into it with more of a firm commitment. So you're like, hey, where can I go?
Exactly.
Wow.
So, I mean, I guess it's like just I've gotten more confident in myself as a runner, just after having like a year later, right? This is now a year later. I think I joined SBRC about a year ago. So a year later, where am I from like a year ago where I was like not confident in who I was as a runner? Just wanted to get back into it. And now I'm just like, well, let's see how much further I can go.
Well, you mentioned to me before how there's a lot more than just running to be successful at this. And I know you've done a lot of research. So I'm wondering, are there any blogs or videos or channels on YouTube or anything that you've seen that have helped you improve your marathon training? I
do follow this one. She's a dietitian, but she's also a marathon runner. And she's a fast marathon runner. She goes, her IG handle is like Featherstone Nutrition. But she has like calculators for like, depending on how fast you're running or how long you're going to run for, this is how many carbs you need per hour. This is if you're like, if you like are a heavy sweater or like don't sweat that much, like how much electrolytes do you need to replenish per hour? So I kind of used her tools and kind of like taken some of her, like what she had, her knowledge, and I incorporated that. I tried it out in that Ventura half marathon. I tried out her her way of fueling and electrolytes. And then I applied that to the LA Marathon too.
Well, that's great. And your coach, Mark, had mentioned that nutrition is something that you've done a lot of research on, and nutrition is something that's often overlooked by marathon runners, but yet it's so important to be successful at. So that's good that you're really attuned to it. So.
Yeah, you kind of go down a rabbit hole.
She really likes to educate herself on the subjects. So she's really good with nutrition, which it's a big deal for a marathon race, because you can have all the training, and I tell you this for experience, because it's happened to me many times. You're gonna have like really good training under your arm, and if you don't do the right nutrition, that race is just not gonna work out.
What keeps you coming back to running marathons? I mean, why can't it be maybe a 5K or a 10K, or why does it have to be a marathon?
I don't know. I just think it's like, I guess like it, during my training, I'm running like a 5K, I'm running a 10K, not for speed or anything, but it's just something that like I don't do every day, right? Like you're not running a marathon every day or every week or every month.
Yeah. Well, some people seem to be doing that.
Yeah, not me. I guess it's just the novelty of it.
So you didn't do a whole lot of preparation for your first race, your first marathon. Let's look back at that. What actually stood out for you in the actual race? What do you remember, and what stood out for you in that first marathon race?
I remember I ran with a group of people, and of course we all kind of split out at some point. We're all different paces. But it was in that first mile, I actually fell. I took a fall in the first mile. Those road reflectors
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
for the lanes, for the driving lanes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, one of them wasn't there, and it was like a divot in the ground, and my foot like wedged into it. It actually like wedged in, and it was mile one on this marathon. My foot wedged into it. I couldn't grab it out, and I'm just running, so my force is pulling me forward, and I stumbled forward. I caught myself and I fell, but like I had to stop for a bit because like I felt like I pulled something in I think it was my quad, just from not being able to release the foot out of that little hole.
Yeah, yeah.
Shook it out, kind of jogged a little bit more, and I was like, oh, it's fine, I'll be fine. But it caught up to me.
Yeah.
It definitely caught up to me towards the end. Yeah. So at the halfway mark, I was feeling really good. Like I had worked it out. It wasn't a problem anymore.
Yeah.
I was feeling really energized. And I remember calling my husband, who was actually my boyfriend at the time. And I'm like, I'm going to run the whole thing. So just meet me at the end. I'll be a little while. And he was like, oh, okay. Kept running. And then
So this
at
is the
mile
one.
19.
Now this is one where you're only going to run a half marathon, right?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
the first mile, you fell down. You're like, you got up, and then you said, I think I'll run the whole rest of the race.
You
Funny how that works out.
It's crazy. It's like, I don't know, the endorphins were like there, I guess. I don't know. But mile 19, I hit the wall.
Yeah. A lot of people say mile 19, mile 20, right?
Yeah, they say like 19 to 22, right? And yeah, it was like 19, and oof, it was painful.
What kept you going?
I was just like, I just got to finish this thing, right? So it was like a walk jog the whole time, 7 miles, a walk jog. And it just got like, it was the worst part of the marathon. It was like this out and back along like this canal, I think, or like I don't know what it was, but it was.
Where was this at?
This is San Diego Rock and Roll.
San Diego Rock and Roll.
Yeah. And it was hot. I just remember it being so hot because I'd been out there. At this point, it's like, 4 or 5 hours, and the sun's coming out. It's hot. It's June. I just remember I was so glad for it to be done at the end.
What's one thing you wish you knew before trying that first marathon?
Well, I wish I had known, you don't just run 2 to 3 times a week, and it's just like, oh, just run 2 to 3 times a week. You do definitely have to do like a speed workout, and those runs during the week need to be pretty lengthy. You're just trying to build your aerobic base, like that base, right? The bigger your base, the more running economy you have.
Right.
And then the longer you can go. So I wish I had known that. I didn't know anything about fuel, nutrition, hydration. I think I had some Gatorade on me, and a couple of gels. And that was about it.
A little more about nutrition and a little bit knowing a little bit more about what it needs to be to train would be good. Would have been better.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that training for everybody is a little different. Like some people are okay with doing like the lower mileage. But yeah, I think for me, I think I need more of the higher mileage.
Is there a life lesson you've learned from running marathons?
I mean, just like, times get tough and you just got to keep plugging through.
Yeah.
You finish the thing,
Yeah.
And sometimes you do have to dig a little deeper to find the strength to do that. But it's there.
Yeah.
Definitely it's there.
Well, going back to your first one, you're at the starting line, your first marathon, and, they're singing the national anthem or whatever. And, you're like, let's get on with it already. What's going on in your mind right now?
I mean, knowing how I am now, I'm very anxious. So I would say that I probably was very anxious at the beginning. I don't really remember that first one. I don't remember the starting line of that first one. I just see little glimpses of like parts of it.
You ran the LA marathon recently, right?
Yes.
So tell me about that. You told me the first one you ran like 2 or 3 days. You practiced like 2 or 3 days a week. But more recently you've done the LA marathon. How did you prepare for the LA marathon differently than the first one?
I mean, obviously that's way different. I joined a run. Well, I was in a run group back then. I'm in a run group now, but I think this running group, very special. Everybody just runs like they're beasts. And so I'm just always I mean, I look up to everybody. They're amazing, fun, friendly people, and they're just so ambitious, you know. And it's like every day, it's like running is life, right?
Yeah. So you were in a group the first time around, but it wasn't.
I was. It wasn't quite that way. It was more just, you know, we met on Saturday. That was it. Pretty, yeah. But I mean, I would say like this group is, you know, I mean, there's like several meets during the week that are kind of, you know, spread out. And I actually only maybe go to Saturday, or I only go to the Sunday run and maybe Tuesday track now. But I mean, I still run with several people throughout the week. You know, I'll try to meet up with somebody, or everybody's running almost every day of the week at any given time. So it's so easy to just hop into somebody's run that they've, you know, decided I'm going to go run today, you know.
So being with your present group has helped you to keep motivated to keep going?
Definitely think so. Yes. And it just seems like they all run marathons like every month.
Well, if you're going to run a marathon, it's probably a good idea to be around some marathon runners.
Yeah, for sure. You know, you have like the good coaches, and like they give you like a coach. You ask for a coaching schedule, they'll give you one. You know, you follow it loosely. You follow however you want to. You can follow it. You know, sometimes it doesn't fit your schedule or whatnot, but you know, you try to do what you can.
And if there's not a group run going on, like you said, you could maybe find people in the group, go, hey, let's hook up and run, right?
Right. Or I'm just running around my neighborhood, or I hop on my treadmill. I actually am one of those people that don't mind the treadmill. I'm totally okay with it. I think it's a great tool for just working on speed. Like you can set it, forget it, or you can set it and then you just keep building, or vice versa, right? You can do like a pyramid and come back down. So it's a much more controlled way to run, I guess, and I'm in more control of it. And when I set it, it's like you go. You don't stop. You just keep going. So, and then sometimes I'll work on incline. So I'll do some speed. So hills on the treadmill as well. And it's just a little bit more, like I said, I have control over it instead of just finding a place that needs hills or, you know, or whatnot. So.
And so with the club, I think you said you go to Sunday, and I think you go to the track night, right?
Yes, I try to go to track, and I try to go to Sunday. I haven't been. It's been a little bit like iffy. I also go to Saturday long group run sometimes. We try. But if not, I'm meeting up with somebody else.
So tell me, what do you do at track night? Do you think it made a difference for you in running the LA Marathon?
Yeah, definitely. So I do the threshold runs on track. So it's that longer, faster pace.
Last mile was 7:38.
And you know, there's some people say, you know, you just need to do the shorter speed workouts, like 400s, 800s, 1200s. But what the thresholds do for me is working on my mental state and like keeping myself in there. Like you got to run for 10 minutes 4 times at a fast pace. You're going to do it.
7:30, looking good.
And you're going to stay in this pace for 10 minutes.
Right.
And, you know, you're hitting like towards that final interval. You're just like, I don't feel like I can do this. There's a lot of self-talk, a lot of negative self-talk coming to you, right? And it's just fighting past that. And it's practice to fight past that. So it's like I'm practicing every week to just keep going. And then the intervals as you go through training, they get longer and longer, right? 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes.
So maybe for the benefit of those who've not taken part in a threshold training, you could explain what happens in a threshold workout.
Okay, so at the beginning, you're building speed. You're doing 4 intervals of 10 minutes of running. So with a 3-minute jogging recovery in between each interval. So you're doing 10 minutes and you choose kind of like a target pace or a range that you want to hit.
You're running 10 minutes at a 10K pace? Something along those lines?
You're running faster than your marathon pace for sure. At the peak, I was hitting like 45 seconds to 60 seconds faster than marathon pace. Is that right? Maybe even more. And so you're going really fast. You're basically, you're not sprinting.
Right.
So it's not a sprint, but it's a very fast workout in which you can hold, but feel like you can't hold it for very long.
It's definitely not a conversational pace.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's definitely not a conversational run. Yeah.
No, you can't talk. No.
7:45.
So you're doing that and you're holding that for 10 minutes. And then you go through maybe like I'd say several weeks of that. And then as you get closer to the race, you're doing 3 intervals of 15 minutes with a 5-minute recovery in between. So then you're holding that now for 15 minutes, which is a considerably longer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you pass that stage, you're getting to 20 minutes 2 times. And then right before your race, I would say a month before your race, you're getting 40 minutes straight of that pace.
Wow.
40 minutes.
Wow.
And again, this is faster than your marathon pace.
Yeah.
But it's definitely building that mental strength.
Yeah.
Physical, but really that mental piece.
I used to tell athletes when I first started, it was 80%, 70% physical, the training aspect of it, and 10, 20% mental. Over the years of training, it's completely the opposite. It's 80%, 90% mental, and then throw in the physical, right? Because that's the mechanics.
Right.
But it's the mental aspect of it. Nobody wants to run 20 miles in the rain, especially alone. You do it because it's mental. You get up and you do it. No, you may have a bad night or a hard day at work, or you have to take care of the children. Nobody wants to go out and do training, right? It's mental.
And of course, you have your teammates there that help keep you going.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you'll find that. Sometimes you'll find that person that is a similar pace to you, and it's very helpful to have that person with you.
I met Michelle with the Southbay runners, and her and I got together training in our threshold training sessions on Tuesday nights on track. Her and I had the same pacing, so we were kind of training together, and that's how we kind of became really close friends, and we were really pushing each other. And she was always there to help me, and I was there to help her. So it's been pretty awesome training with her.
Wow, Michelle, threshold sounds pretty tough to do by yourself every week. I don't think I could do that every week by myself.
You get stronger.
So now I'm going to ask you a similar question as before. Now it's the start of the LA Marathon. After many, many weeks of training and preparation and threshold, etc., and now you're at the start of the LA Marathon. They're singing the national anthem. They're doing whatever it is they do at the start of the LA Marathon, and you're waiting for the race to start. What's going on in your head now?
Oh, I am full of anxiety. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm easily stressed out. So I'm just sitting there. I'm just trying to calm my nerves. But I think I was actually more nervous, leading the week leading up. The actual morning, I think I was just well, I'm here. I got to do this thing. Right. I'm about to run a marathon. And I had literally slept 0 the night before. I was just so on edge. My Garmin said that I didn't sleep at all the night before. It's just nerves. It was nerves. I was just so nervous. I don't know, I think it was more I had this expectation of myself. I had been training, but then I also didn't know, I'd never ran a marathon with this type of training before. So I didn't know where, I'd end up. I didn't really have a goal in mind. I just wanted to run it, and I didn't want to hit the wall. I remembered that feeling so vividly, hitting the wall, and it's just so painful.
When do you hit the wall?
Back in the rock and roll.
Oh, you mean okay?
In my past marathons, I had hit the wall, and it was.
Oh, but this one in LA, you didn't feel you hit the wall.
I did not hit the wall.
Oh, good.
No, I did not. I was good. So I would say that I accomplished my mission.
Good. What unexpected challenges happened in the LA marathon that you maybe weren't anticipating?
So around mile 6, I started getting Achilles tightness. I had Achilles strain during my training that I kind of was working through. And it was fine for all of my long runs. Like I had stopped running for like about 2.5 weeks right in the middle of my training because of my Achilles just giving me a lot of issues. And I really didn't want to get another injury where it sidelined me for this marathon. So I was trying to be smart about it.
Yeah.
Right. I was doing a exercise rehab on it, like massage, whatever I needed to do for it, and just rested it. I came back to running and I was able to run, all of my runs. It was just the speed workouts is what would irritate them.
Yeah.
So I hadn't actually ran a threshold 2 months leading up to the marathon. I had done no threshold.
Wow.
But I did do the Ventura half marathon in February. So like about 3 weeks before the marathon, I ran a half marathon, and it was my fastest half marathon actually.
Oh, wow. That's good.
So that was like my last speed that I did prior to the marathon. It did cause some Achilles tightness after the half, but I would say like a week later it had subsided and I was fine. It was okay.
So you had that little injury come up. You said, I'm going to have to back off a little bit, which I know is a challenge because as a runner myself, you're always thinking, I got to run more. But you backed off a little bit and let it subside, and it sounds like it paid off. But
yes. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do the threshold actually. I hadn't done it regularly because of the Achilles. And then about 6 miles into the full marathon, I started feeling it. And I was running with Rick for the good first like 14, 15 miles, 14 or 15 miles.
Right? Rick's a guy in your team, right?
Okay. Yeah. And he was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like I was not gonna say the words that like my Achilles is tight. I was like not gonna speak it into existence. It was just gonna be like a thing that was there in the background, and I'm just gonna deal with it. So I kind of did. And it bothered me for most of the run, I would say.
But you just didn't talk about it. You just decided to focus on the race.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to think it into more existence. Yeah. It's just going to hang out. I'm sidelining it for now.
It just kind of came up in a 26-mile race. Something's going to come up, right?
Right. Yeah.
I know I paced you for the last 8 miles of the race. I remember at one point you said, my toe's cramped. And I thought, my toe is cramped? I've never even heard of such a thing.
I was getting cramp in my toe. It was like my toes were just like doing this in my shoe.
And I was just like 23 or something, I think.
Yeah, I think it was about 22, 23. Yeah. But I was just like, I just got to keep going. It was 1 mile at a time. 1 mile at a time. I was almost there. And so it was just like, I don't know why I said that out loud. I didn't say the Achilles out loud, but I said the cramping out loud. I have no idea.
Well, I'm sure that's happened to other people, but when you said that, I was like, wow, I've never even heard of that. So,
yeah, you're like, oh, but it's such a beautiful day, and you're just trying so hard to get my head.
I think I told you to focus on something that doesn't hurt, and that it was a beautiful day, and that your family would be waiting there at the finish line for you.
You're doing so well trying to get my mind off of the fact that everything hurt at the moment. My Achilles hurt, my toes were cramping. I wanted to stop, but I didn't.
Just try and think about something else besides what you just mentioned. Think about how great it's going to be when you finish. You're going to finish, you're going to relax. Your family's going to be there waiting for you. It's going to be really chilled out.
The one time I entered a race, and it was a 10K race, and my hamstring started hurting about a mile into the race. I thought, I should just quit because I'm just going to hurt it more. And then I thought, well, I paid for it. Might as well keep going.
Right.
Sometimes things happen. You just go with it. You just gotta go make the best of it. Yeah. Did you utilize any nutrition or hydration strategies for this past race in LA?
Yeah, so I had tried something on that Ventura half that I had done as a training speed run prior to the LA. I was like, I had heard that if you had taken about like 20 to 25 grams of carbs every like 30-ish minutes, starting from the beginning of your run, it would keep you with sustained energy to last you through the end. So I had tried it. That was like my trial. I was going to try it at the half to see how I did. On top of that, I had my electrolyte. And on that particular race, I was doing every other water station. I took electrolytes, and every other water station, I went and got water. And that was, like I said, of course, Ventura is a fast half, but I think I PR'd by almost 7 minutes. So I was just like, I think that might have been key.
Yeah.
Right? That was like really the only thing, other than the fact that I was training for a marathon, right? My last half was in November. So I had done a Santa Barbara in November and then Ventura in February.
Did you utilize the same approach that you took in the Ventura half marathon to apply to LA?
Yes, except I adjusted it to every 25 minutes, taking in my gel instead of 30. I just thought maybe I'm running a lot longer. I'm going to need more energy to sustain me. So I just cut it back like 20 to 25 minutes.
Did you do any strength or mobility training to complement your running?
So no strength, which that was a misstep. I did yoga, and I would do like just mobility stretching, foam rolling. Those were pretty regular, like recovery days.
So you got that one behind you. Are you preparing for a marathon now?
Yes, I am preparing for St. George Marathon in Utah.
So you ran the Rock and Roll Marathon way back in the day, around 5 hours and 11 minutes. And then since then, you recently ran the LA Marathon, got a little bit more experience, took a different approach, and you ran that in how fast? 3 hours?
It was like 3:48.
48 minutes. Wow. And that really nearly qualifies you for Boston, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
I needed a 3:45.
Oh, wow. So you went from 5 hours and 11 minutes to roughly 3 hours and 48 minutes.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
good.
cut out the whole 4 hour.
So you went from 5 hours and 11 minutes down to 3 hours and 48 minutes. That's you cutting almost a couple hours off that. That's pretty impressive. So now that you have that experience behind you, this will be your third.
This will be my fourth.
So now you're on your fourth marathon. You've done 3 others before. How are you going to train for this marathon differently?
I'm definitely doing strength. I'm doing at least 1 to 2 days of strength workouts now. I went through some pretty good PT after the LA. I practically didn't run for 2 months.
Yeah.
No running.
Yeah.
Which was quite amazing. I think my husband was just like, I can't believe you're so patient.
So that brings up another question. A lot of these people that I've interviewed say, yeah, I couldn't have done this marathon without my family. And I'm always thinking, I wonder how many kids or people at home are like, hey, where's mom? She should be at home. She's out running again. So I'm guessing your family was pretty supportive of all your running activities.
Yeah, so I think they all know that mom needs to go for a run, or she's, stressed out. So I think they already know that part about me. And, I kind of put it as like, you guys have your sports, like the kids have their own sports that they're into. This is mine. And so it's okay for adults to also have this thing that they enjoy doing. Yeah. And then like my husband's been with me since I was doing my first marathon, right? So he already knew. He already married into this.
Yeah. And I remember your whole family was there at the LA Marathon at the SBRC, your club. The Southbay Runners had a cheer station at mile 18 and mile 26, and your whole family was there waiting for you.
It was the first time. It was the first time they'd ever seen me in a race. Like I've done half marathons, but they've never come, I'd go out and do my half marathon and come home.
Yeah.
But this was the first one that they actually saw.
Yeah.
Saw me do it. So
That's good.
Yeah. They were pretty excited about it.
So since LA, you've taken a little time off. You had some injuries to deal with. So yeah, not a bad idea to take a little time off.
Yep. I did some resting, did a lot of rehab, strengthening. And so now I'm in a better place, I think, where I can support the running.
Yeah.
And moving into this training block, I don't know that I'm going to run as many miles per week. I am changing it around just a little bit.
You think maybe last time you did a little too much, so you got hurt, so now you're like, hey, I'm going to back off a little bit.
Yeah, I think I need more. I need to like focus more on recovery.
Yeah.
This time, more sleep, more recovery. I'm hoping to add in a second day of speed work. So like I was saying that they have like the shorter speed and then the threshold speed. I kind of want to do both. So I'm trying to work them both in.
So one change you're making is more strength training, and your threshold, you're going to keep the same threshold format, or are you going to change the threshold format at all?
No, I think I'm going to keep that the same. Yeah. So I had my first threshold run this Tuesday. Went well. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I'll just keep going on that plan.
What are your longer term goals for running?
So I just got the lottery for New York.
Okay.
So there was a lottery that for the virtual New York Marathon this year. And if you got a spot in the virtual New York Marathon for this year, you automatically get to go to the New York City Marathon in 2026. So I actually just got the email yesterday.
Oh, wow.
That
is there a time you have to hit in St. George in order to qualify for this New York City Marathon?
No, it just means that a month after St. George, I need to run another virtual marathon.
Okay. What exactly
for New York?
What exactly is involved in running a virtual marathon? You just go out and run your marathon, 26 miles roughly, and then you post it on Strava?
Yes. And then they'll send me a medal. Thank you for participating in the New York virtual marathon. You get automatic entry into the New York City Marathon for next year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is a really hard one to get into. I tried getting into that one and I didn't get in.
There's time considerations too, right? They look at your age and what sex you are and so forth, right?
I don't believe that there is a time.
Okay.
So for this virtual, well, I think there's a cutoff. Yes, like a 6.5 hour, maybe cutoff or something like that. But for this virtual run, I just have to pick a day. They give you a week to run it. And I'll just have to pick a day and like run 26 miles outside somewhere.
Oh, wow.
You want to run with me for part of it?
That's a lot of laps around the track if you're going to do that at threshold night.
No, we're not doing the
track. No, but seriously, yeah, I'm sure we could find myself a few others from the club that would love to run with you on your virtual marathon day. Any aspirations for running Boston?
Yeah, if I qualify, I'm definitely going to try to go.
You ran 3:48, and for your age group, what's the qualification? What do you have to do?
3:45.
You're almost there.
I am. I'm almost there.
You've gone from 5 hours and 7 minutes to 3:48, almost qualifying. Okay. So maybe St. George, is that a hilly? Is it downhill? Is it flat?
So it's a downhill.
Okay.
And it is over 2,000 feet of elevation downhill, net downhill. So I think they will add on 5 minutes to my time. It's a new rule for Boston that they just announced like last week.
You know, downhill races can be a little deceiving. I did one recently, the Griffith Park Relays, and it's, you know, when you're going downhill, you're really cruising fast, but it can really take the legs out of you. They can be a little deceiving. So maybe you have to do a little bit more downhill training. Or something.
I do. Yeah. I think the strength is also going to help.
What advice would you have for someone who's, let's say they're in their 30s or their 40s and they're decided, you know, I want to go out and run a marathon. Maybe they've never done any sports before, but they're at a point in their life like, you know, I've always wanted to do that. I don't have much of a sports background. What advice would you give them?
I would say start slow. Try the 5K. Mm-hmm. You know, get comfortable with it. Try the 10K, get comfortable with that. And then try a half marathon.
Yeah.
Get comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And then I would say go for the full. I definitely think the progression of it, I think it would help like longevity of staying with running.
Yeah.
Rather than just like I think I'm just going to go out and run a marathon, having never ran any race or
Right.
distance before.
Right.
Like,
And yeah, you see that all the time. You know, people that are like, yeah, I'm going to run a marathon. Oh, how long have you been running? Oh, about 2 months. You know?
yeah, I don't recommend it. I would say start small, build confidence, and then just keep going. Like, just build up, because it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But I think if you go straight into that marathon, it's not fun.
Yeah. And you probably met a lot of cool people along the way too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and a lot of people just started out running, and I think they kind of did this too. They started with a half marathon maybe, and then they went to a full, and then you kind of find that distance that you really like. And I would say for me, my favorite is a half. I love the half marathon distance.
You know, that's interesting that you say that, because I had Leslie Cohen on my channel, who's one of the fastest marathon runners in the world in her age group. And she said, you know, everyone wants me to run the marathon, but I prefer to run the half because it's just so much more manageable.
It is. There's no recovery time after, it's fun. It's a good distance. It's challenging. It's not something that you run every day, right? But it's not as taxing on the body or the mind.
Yeah. How long were you feeling after you ran LA? I mean, you didn't run for 2 months. Were you just every day like, oh, I'm dying?
I actually didn't. I think by Tuesday, so I ran it on Sunday. Tuesday, I was actually feeling pretty good. I was able to go downstairs on Tuesday, which is great.
Yeah.
So, I was able to go downstairs with the rest of my muscles. It was my Achilles that was really not happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Achilles.
A couple months off, yeah. Any other running goals or aspirations you want to share with us?
I recently ran a half marathon with some of the girls from the club. It was Nike. It was a half marathon, and we ran it for fun. We had like no time goal. The goal was to start together and finish together. And like, that was like the best race.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was so fun. It was so fun to just be with my friends running this thing. It was like a party the whole way. It was a half marathon, right? It wasn't a full marathon.
Yeah.
But like, I really like to do more of those.
Yeah.
Just run for fun. And then I also like spoke to somebody, not in our club, but who had run Boston twice. And she said that, she ran the first one. It was horrible, terrible. And then the second one she ran, and she had this realization, like, I'm not going to run this race ever again. This is going to be my last Boston Marathon. And she decided in that moment, she was just going to take everything in from the marathon. Like, I'm going to take it in, and I'm going to enjoy this run. I'm going to enjoy this race. And she said she had the best time. And I'm just like, wow, that's amazing. And, getting to these world majors, I think getting to them is half the battle, right? Like, well, it's like, it is the battle. Like, to get a spot in any one of these is almost, it's so difficult to achieve.
Yeah.
But once you get there, like, I just want to run it for fun. I want to be there, and I want to run and like take it all in and be with the crowds, be with the amazing, spectators and all these amazing athletes around me. I think maybe that might be the goal. Not to like get this amazing time in a major, but like the experience of running it.
So basically what I hear you say is you want to train really hard to get to those races, but once you're there, it's like, why work so hard? I've heard people that run really hard, train really hard to get to Boston, but once they get to Boston, like, I'm here. Why do I have to race once here? I want to have a good time.
Exactly. Yeah, like, I've worked hard already. I'm just gonna, I've earned this.
Yeah.
Kind of just, when you speak to different people, it makes you think, and like, why am I doing this?
Well,
like, why are we running these things?
Exactly, right. It's a good question. Why run a marathon? I mean, why run at all? That's something I ask myself as a runner at times.
Yeah.
With Michelle, it was a privilege to train her because she was very motivated about it, and you could see she had a clear goal and objective. And those are the athletes that I take a lot of enjoyment from, because, they're on a mission, right? And it goes back to the psychological part of it. And Michelle was one of those where it was just like, you could see her chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
And there was no doubt that I knew what she was capable of. And she proved it on race day. And I think that also motivated her now because, again, with marathon training or running, nobody does two. You either do one and never again, or you do one of many.
Yeah.
Right. So at this point, I can already tell Michelle is hooked, and it's going to be one of many.
Thank you for your time today, Michelle. Congratulations on all your efforts running through the years, starting with your 2007 San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon, and then most recently in LA in 2025 when you nearly qualified for Boston. Good luck in New York or wherever else you run, and we look forward to hearing back from you again. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for your time too.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you find interesting. Write your comments and feedback below. Good luck with your running. We'll see you next time.